For me, it was really driven home just how horrific and final death on the battlefield can be when we lost to Bradley. This was struck by a 30 millimeter round from a BMP gun. And it was kind of a freak because it didn't strike the armored chassis, it struck a missile that was in the launcher above the vehicle. And it just so happened that the hatch below where the driver was about this far open. When normally when you fire, it's always closed and in combat. But they'd been at it for several hours and they were tired and they needed some fresh air. And there was nothing happening. So he opened the hatch. And at the point in time when you thought nothing was happening and it was safe, boom, this round hits the tow missile. The blast goes down into the vehicle. And there were a total of 5 people involved. One was killed, 3 were wounded, 1 made it out with light wounds. There were 6 wounded that day badly, but not horrifically. And you had to see what was left, and there was nothing. But that man ended up, his remains were placed in a plastic bag about this size.
Yeah.
And that's all that went back. And I met his parents, his father and stepmother. I felt terrible. And his father happened to be a Lutheran minister. And I said, I'm so sorry because we did everything we could. We trained everybody. You know, I didn't think something like this would happen. And he said, look, he was very proud to be there. He wanted to be there. And indeed, I subsequently got letters, one of which I put in a book. The last one that he wrote, talking to his family, that he was glad he was there with his friends. And that's very important. You know, you're with people that are not just next door, they're your friends. And he was confident and he was proud and he loved his family and he signed the letter. And I put it in the book, Warrior's Rage, which came out many years ago, because it was so moving to me. There is no victory without sacrifice. And Sergeant Muller paid the price for all of us. And that was about right.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you know, this is a total stark, you know, when you hear those stories and the details and the human cost of war, it changes the whole paradigm. And it's important to make sure that people who have the decision-making power, which ultimately is the American people, should be very vigilant in how they send people off.
Well, we have to make sure it's for the right thing and it's for something that's really vitally important to us. This is not a throwaway. You know, soldiers are not throwaways. They're living, breathing human beings.